My name is Kabongo Kasongo Walukukula Wazabanga Mukakoswan Kukumwendo Dr. Jose Mukulu Wankito State Council Simon Mwewa Mayor.
I am standing outside Zambia's National Assembly, where lawmakers concluded business for the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly ahead of today's official dissolution of Parliament on May 15, 2026. The adjournment a few days ago not only closed a legislative chapter, but signaled what is expected to be a politically heated season ahead of the August 13 general elections.
The final gavel has fallen after months of intense debate, political confrontation, and landmark legislation. Zambia's 13th National Assembly adjourned sine die on May 12, 2026.
Before we conclude the business, I have a few remarks which I would like to make. Honorable members, I rise with profound humility to address this august House as the 13th National Assembly adjourns sine die and eventually dissolved by operation of law on the 15th of May 2026, concluding a momentous term in the constitutional history of our republic.
In an unprecedented display of emotion and unity, Speaker of the National Assembly Nelly Muti embraced members of Parliament from both sides of the divide.
Ministers have bid farewell to their respective ministries, marking the end of their tenure. Some prominent lawmakers have already announced they will not return to seek re-election. Former Kamfinsa Member of Parliament Christopher Kangombe says he will not contest the 2026 parliamentary elections after 5 years in the August House. Kangombe says he now intends to focus on mentorship and community initiatives aimed at preparing young people for leadership.
I want to begin by thanking the residents of Kamfinsa constituency for giving me the opportunity to be a member of parliament, to be their representative, to be able to speak on their behalf, issues to do with water, issues to do with roads, issues to do with empowerment, and many other things that affect our people.
Another outspoken lawmaker, Nkana Member of Parliament Binwo Mpundu, has also announced that he will not defend his seat in the upcoming elections. Mpundu cites ongoing court battles, which he describes as politically motivated, as well as dissatisfaction with parliamentary leadership.
As many of you may now be aware, I have made a decision not to recontest my parliamentary seat for two very important reasons. Number one, it is useless, it's vanity, it's foolish for me to want to go to parliament and continue under the same circus, enacting bills such as this under the leadership of those, presiding officers.
The departure of the two outspoken lawmakers has sparked speculation over their next political move.
The final days of Parliament were marked by marathon sittings as lawmakers had to conclude legislative business before dissolution. Public debate intensified after reports that over 77 bills were under consideration before dissolution, raising concerns over whether Parliament had adequate time for scrutiny and public participation.
Among the most debated pieces of legislation was the Public Gathering Bill of 2026, which seeks to repeal and replace the colonial-era Public Order Act. Government argues that the proposed law promotes order while protecting freedom of assembly. However, critics and civil society actors contend that some provisions could potentially restrict democratic freedoms and may, in practice, become more restrictive than the Public Order Act itself. Some stakeholders have described the 13th National Assembly as one of the most active and transformative legislatures in recent history. Others, however, argue that debate in the House became increasingly polarized, with opposition lawmakers frequently accusing the ruling party of limiting dissenting voices.
Under Article 81.3 of the Constitution of Zambia, Parliament dissolves automatically 90 days before a general election, which in this case is slated for August 13, 2026.
Acton Institute for Policy Analysis Center, IPAC Executive Director Solomon Ngoma explains what is anticipated during this transition period.
The country is now going into an election mode. We no longer have ministers now. We no longer have members of parliament. So political parties will now give us a list of those that they have adopted. So there's also a party list that will come. If nobody has talked about it under the proportional representation, there will be a party list that the political parties will have to come with after the elections, a party list, which will at some point this is likely to make it public. That may come, this is the party list for those that will potential to stand. So this period, the country changes mode, is that PS now becomes in charge of ministries. So we expect institutions like the Zambia Police, we expect institutions like any other government institution to remain neutral and independent, because these are civil servants.
The president and key constitutional officers, such as the vice presidents, continue to oversee government operations until general elections are held and a new government is constituted following the electoral process.
From emotional farewells to controversial legislation and the uncertainty surrounding who returns after August 13, the dissolution of Parliament is not just the end of a legislative cycle, but the beginning of a critical season to test Zambia's democratic institutions, political intolerance,